Hi, Carrie here. Today, I'm going to explain a joyful and profound film, If I Were a Boy. Spoilers ahead, watch out and take care. Daisy is 38 years old and is experiencing a marital crisis. While she wants to try new ways to spice things up for her husband chooses another lover and ruthlessly abandons Daisy. Luckily, she has two adorable kids who are always there to give her a big hug when she is upset. Since her relationship is not as good as she wanted, Daisy naturally focuses all her energy on her work. Unfortunately, because of her weak personality, she is always the one who is bullied at work. Today, just after arriving at company, she is sent by her boss to inspect the work on site. And she is forced to go with her colleague, Merlin, whom she had a one-night stand with. Merlin is married with a child. Now they're in the same lift, with awkward. However, Daisy would rather be embarrassed than oppose her boss's arrangement. When she arrives at the site, her poor heels are covered in mud. The workers still tease her and laugh at her for being as weak as a princess. When she inspects the taps, the water coming out of the cracks looks like a fountain. Facing with the worker who is much stronger than her, Daisy writes minor leak on the inspection report. Merlin can't stand her weak performance and tells her to go back to the office and leave the rest of the acceptance work to him. She is being despised by her colleagues when her scumbag ex-husband calls. With a showy tone he says to Daisy, "By law, we can take turns raising two children. My new wife just delivered a cute baby, and I won't be able to pick up our kids from school today, so you must pick them up for me." Before Daisy can think of a way to say no, her scumbag ex-husband hangs up the phone. When Daisy almost faints, because of angry, Merlin grabs her. But the ground at the site is so slippery that they fall into the mud together. If everything above is a prelude to Daisy's bad luck, then the climax comes next for her. That night, lightning and thunder are flashing outside the window. As well as indicating that a storm was coming, the bad weather also seems to signal that something unusual is about to happen. The timid Daisy is so frightened by the lightning that she can't sleep until midnight. When she gets up to go to the bathroom, she stands dazedly in front of the toilet to urinate, without noticing something is wrong. As she lays back in bed, she suddenly opens her eyes and says, "Wait, did I just pee standing up?" Daisy thinks she must have drunk too much before going to bed, which makes her confused now. In spite of this thought, she still subconsciously touches her breast. Luckily, the boobs are still there. All the way down to legs, Daisy freezes on the spot. She checks again, carefully. The feeling is true, she actually has a genital. Daisy is frightened, she starts screaming, which wakes up her two kids. They come to hug their mother, but Daisy hurriedly stops the children from approaching. To her surprise, her voice becomes as deep as a man's. Facing the child's concerned, Daisy has to lie and says that her throat is uncomfortable because of cold and she will be better after taking a rest. Subsequently, Daisy finds that her underwear is uncomfortable because of an extra organ. Therefore, she rummages her whole closet. Because it turns out that women's underwear is no longer suitable for her. Fortunately, she finally finds a pair of flowered underwear of her ex-husband under some old box. The extra organ makes Daisy know the pain of being a male. For example, just riding her bicycle in the morning, she accidentally touches her key organ. Accompanied by a twisted expression is her endless pain. Daisy is not in the mood to go to work and worries that she will be exposed at work. She simply takes a leave of absence. After a long time of fear and anxiety at home, Daisy also learns a new position of urine. Lying on the toilet, she feels like flying. But sitting alone cannot help her solve the problem. Finally, she goes to her bestie. Soon after entering the door, she directly says to her bestie that she has a new thing growing on her body and takes off her pants to show her bestie. However, her girlfriend thinks she is playing cosplay and suspects that her genital is a fake toy. Her bestie also pulls it with her hand, trying to yank it down, which almost kills Daisy, and also let her bestie realize that her genital is not a fake. This discovery scares her bestie to jump. After calming down, they go to the rooftop where her bestie carefully examines Daisy's new organ and discusses its style. Neither Baroque nor classical, a bit like Danish furniture, with clean colors and smooth lines. Then, her bestie says with excitement, "This is a good thing. From now on, you have the mind of a woman. And the sexuality of a man. You can enjoy a dual identity. You can do many things that a single gender cannot do. This is a blessing that only the chosen one can have." But this crazy idea of her bestie makes Daisy even more flustered, and she thinks herself an incestuous monster. The next morning, she rushes to the gynecologist she knew well. As soon as she enters the door, without saying a word of nonsense, she takes off her pants. The doctor is more than 50 years old and has experienced many things. He keeps silences and goes out. He then walks straightly to the water fountain and splashes a glass of water on his face. He says, "Ah. It seems that I am not so old as to be stupid. It is not a dream." The doctor then backs in the office, and he reassures Daisy not to panic. He plans to refer Daisy to other specialists who can solve the problem. Daisy refuses when she hears that. She doesn't want anyone to know about it. She worries that she will be sent to the lab as an alien. She has kids to look after. Daisy proposes to let the doctor operate on herself to cut the genital off, while the doctor warns her that the risk is too great. He says the procedure is more dangerous than giving birth, and that Daisy would likely bleed to death during surgery. Daisy is in a panic. The doctor then gives her an idea that Daisy can treat her genital as her favorite toy in her childhood and try to live in peace with it. Since her genital is a sudden growth, maybe one day it will suddenly disappear. Under the doctor's patient reassurance, Daisy calms down and gives her new organ a new name, Bunny, which is the name of one of her favorite stuffed toys in her childhood. After returning home, Daisy follows the doctor's instructions. She masturbates herself, which makes her enjoy the pleasure as a man. Gradually, Daisy finds a subtle change in her psychology. She always stares at the posters of all kinds of sexy girls in the street. When her bestie comes to her house, her eyes also glance at her bestie's booty from time to time. When they are sitting on the sofa and talking, Daisy unconsciously moves closer to her girlfriend. Just as Daisy is about to do intimate things, her bestie runs away in terror. Although her bestie likes men and likes to spend time with Daisy, it doesn't mean she likes the combination of the two. Sick leave is limited. Daisy has to go back to work even if no solution is figured out. She doesn't realize that her personality is quietly changed. This day, she is sitting in Merlin's car to inspect the site when a car behind suddenly overtakes. In the past, if Daisy encounters this kind of thing, she will certainly choose tolerate. But now, Daisy gets out of the car and starts yelling at the driver in front of her. Unexpectedly, the driver once learned kung fu. After being annoyed, the driver directly to hit Daisy. In order to protect Daisy, one of Merlin's eyes is hit. Daisy feels guilt in her heart. Arrives at the construction site, Daisy is no longer weak. Facing the problems and difficulties of the workers, she argues with reason. Daisy decides to release her nature. She sneaks into the men's room in the company and pees like a real man. Unexpectedly, this night, while working overtime, she ran into a female building security guard who came to check security in the men's room. As soon as the female security guard sees her genital, she passes out. After waking up, Daisy sincerely explains to the female security guard, hoping she can understand and keep it a secret. Women are always good at exchanging secrets with each other, and the female security guard also reveals her worries. In fact, she has been single for 30 years and has never slept with a man so far. She always feels sorry for it. With their chat, the ambiguous sparks in the air begins to quietly bloom. At this moment, they stare at each other. Daisy, who is a woman with genital, with the virgin security guard, achieves a negative 20 centimeters breakthrough for each other. They spent a wonderful and passionate night. Daisy gradually adapts her new identity. She is full of male strength. When Daisy goes to the supermarket and sees a woman who can't move the drinks on the shelves, she offers to help. In the morning, it is not a problem for her to carry 2 kids to kindergarten, while her poor best friend is struggling to carry 1 child. Riding a bicycle is also very easy for her. She also walks easily in high heels in the site. When talking to clients, she behaves in an open manner, not as timid as before. Merlin is completely impressed by her. What's even better is that her ex-husband likes Daisy again. When they meet again, Daisy puts ecstasy in her ex-husband's drink in order to give him some exciting revenge. When her ex-husband is bewildered by her, Daisy takes out her bunny and shows him. Her ex-husband immediately faints in bed. When he wakes up, he feels vague pain in his ass. Daisy feels more and more confident in her family life and workplace. When she goes to the doctor for a physical examination, Daisy also shows him her muscle. The doctor surprisingly finds that both the androgynous hormones in Daisy's body are rising at the same time. She is a perfect androgynous and in a period of boundless adolescence. Daisy knows that these changes are brought by her bunny. Meanwhile, Daisy's luck is approaching. It's none other than Merlin, with whom she had a one-night stand. On this day, everyone is busy working at the site. Suddenly, a tree hit by a construction truck and is about to smash into Merlin. At the critical moment, Daisy runs over and saves him, which also makes Merlin like Daisy more. But Daisy does not want to have any more involvement with him. After all, Merlin is a married man. Although Daisy seems to be getting stronger and stronger, her heart is still a little vulnerable from time to time. At Christmas, her ex-husband picks up the kids, and she is left alone. By chance, she learns that Merlin is divorced. He has to take care of 4 children by himself. In order to balance work, he has to take the children to the construction site at Christmas. Daisy kindly helps him take care of the children. That night, Daisy receives a call from Merlin, asking for a date to thank her for her help. Daisy incoherently agrees. To be honest, she actually has a crush on Merlin, too. They're both divorced, so it's normal to have a drink and chat. In the bar, Merlin also frankly and directly asks Daisy if she has a boyfriend. Daisy understands that this is a confession, but she does not know how to answer. Her current condition is really a bit awkward, a woman with genital. She makes vague and perfunctory remarks to Merlin, which does not affect their feelings. In a moment of passion, Merlin is ready to kiss Daisy. Daisy is so frightened that she gets up and backs away immediately. She runs away on the pretext that she has a slight skin allergy. When they meet again, Daisy knows the truth. Merlin divorced his wife before their last unexpected one-night stand. As a single parent, he doesn't want his children to be discusses, which is why he keeps his wedding ring on. Merlin says Daisy is fascinating because she combines the strength of a man with the tenderness of a woman. Hearing such a true confession, Daisy cannot help but kiss Merlin. Because unable to explain her condition at this point, Daisy tentatively asks Merlin about his sexual orientation and whether he accepts homosexuality. After getting a negative answer, Daisy sadly says that they can only be friends. She turns away sadly, leaving Merlin standing in the same spot confused. Daisy is in great pain. How much she now wants to change back to a woman, and how much she wants to have a sweet relationship with Merlin. With a glimmer of hope, Daisy approaches her gynecologist again. She wants the doctor to recommend a hospital in Bangkok that specialized in gender reassignment. But the doctor tells her that if she wants to become a woman again, the surgery and recovery time will take at least several years, and the results may not be perfect. Daisy feels desperate, but the doctor and her bestie feel that if Daisy really likes Merlin, she should ignore her current identity and take the initiative to express her love to Merlin. No matter whether she is a man or a woman, gender cannot prevent the occurrence of love. Hearing this encouragement, Daisy bravely comes to Merlin. When she is ready to confess the secret of her body, the sky suddenly begins to thunder and blow a gale, just like the weather on the night she became a man. In the storm, Daisy miraculously changes back into a woman, the experience of androgynous ends. Daisy runs excitedly to Merlin. She's a woman again, but she's not the cowardly Daisy she used to be. If I Were a Boy is a comedy film written and directed by French director Audrey Dana. French comedy films are always full of hilarious fun, but always inspire people to think. Just like the heroine in the film, because of a thunderstorm, she inexplicably becomes a woman with genital. Faced with an unprecedented new body, she begins an awkward and difficult experience. She not only breaks men's inherent prejudice against women, but also promotes women's understanding and cognition of men. She also raises a series of interesting questions. Why can't androgynous be a third sex besides male and female? Does gender necessarily affect love? Is self-acceptance a necessary path to growth? At the end of the movie, Daisy reverts back to a woman. But after the transformation, her life has already completed a profound change. She not only has the strength and bravery of men, but also has the tenderness and delicacy of women. Perhaps, as the English writer Woolf once said, all great minds are androgynous. And this can also be used as a marker to determine whether a man or woman is mature. Only when you can truly think about the strengths and weaknesses of the other gender can you see the world truly and completely. Alright, that's all for the video. Subscribe if you'd like to see more videos like this. Thanks for your support, see you next time.